Hi everyone, I want to go over how to do your homework that's due Sunday night and also on Monday so that way there's no confusion. When you're in the course, you want to go to modules, okay? And then you're going to go to where it says outline for essay number 1 to open up the outline document. But everyone should make sure, and this is especially those of you who are absent in class on Wednesday, everyone should make sure to complete the brainstorming chart first. This is something that I gave as a handout in class, and you can print it out if you don't have a copy of this. But this is where you look at your essay number 1 prompts, and then you go through and you start picking out key qualities that are also connected to the text we've been reading. So my suggestion is that you actually put some key qualities here that you want to focus on, like it could be grit, it could be growth mindset, it could be resilience. There's so many things that we came up with in class where we brainstormed what are some key qualities that a successful student should have, because that's the question you want to be answering for your thesis statement here. And when you put in a supporting quote, make sure you identify the author of that text and the page number you got it from if it's from your course reader. So that way it's documented. And then at the end, you also want to fill all this up as much as you can because you need several key qualities and several supporting quotes. You might even have some repeats, right? Like grit could be here, grit could be here, but you might show a couple different quotes from Angela Lee Duckworth here, or you might talk about fear of failure and making mistakes as a couple key qualities, but you might have Briseno quoted here on page 2 of his article, and you might have Kerp cited here on page 3 of his article. So you can have overlapping qualities and authors, just make sure you're giving credit to them and you complete that quote. So this could be handwritten or typed, but this is a PDF that isn't editable, so handwritten is perfectly okay. Make sure you share some experiences and observations that connect to those key qualities so that you can potentially incorporate them into your paper. Once you've completed the brainstorming chart, then it's time for you to go get started on the outline. You need to complete the brainstorming chart anyway because you need to turn this into class by 11 a.m. on Monday on September 9th. So that's worth 5 points. So now what I'm going to show you is how to do the outline. Now what you're going to see, especially if you've never done an outline before and you are trying to do it right, as accurate as you can and get full credit, you want to click here for the assignment. This is the outline. It's just 5 points, but the points are not the point. If you skip this, you're going to miss out on having a really nice structured plan going into the rough draft. An outline is not a rough draft. These kinds of things are meant to be filled out with just a couple words, a phrase, an idea, just to kind of landmark what you plan on talking about for your actual drafted paper. So use this Roman numeral format where I have like, this is, the number 1. This is the intro paragraph. This is number 2, but you might have 3 or 4 different paragraphs. You get to decide how many you need in order to talk about the key qualities for your paper. And then this is the conclusion, paragraph 5, right? But it doesn't have to be the 5th paragraph. And then you have letters like A, B, and C to talk about some major supporting points within those paragraphs. If you end up having more details within, I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But this is something that'll help you keep structure if you follow it. You know you have to quote, you know you need a topic sentence that talks about a key quality. Just write down something like grit or growth mindset or some other key quality you think a successful college student should have, and what you feel you're working on or trying to embody as well. And so please, again, don't write this like an actual rough draft. Use the Roman numeral alphabetized format to kind of landmark your ideas. Here are some sample outlines that you can pull some inspiration from. And so let's see. This is something from an English 120 class that utilizes the outline look, okay? And so if I zoom in a little bit, let's see here. What you're looking at is something that we do. It's rhetorical analysis for my English 120 class. And they use a Roman numeral format to get across some basic ideas. What's the purpose? What's the argument? Here's the thesis. And then they just have a couple words and a couple quotes this is what you want to do in your paper. Using your brainstorming chart, if you've already decided on your quotes, then you should be easily able to pull from the articles and the authors and cite those quotes in there as your actual evidence. And then you give a couple words, a couple phrases that allow us to consider how you're going to bring that back to your main talking points. Okay, so cite. So pull in actual quotations, just, type them in, copy and paste them from the grit video, or try to copy exactly what Dweck says. And that way I can tell you have a plan for pulling from different texts. I want to see at least 2 or 3 texts that you're quoting from. Now, this is a student who actually tried to do this in my English 99. We can tell she's going to talk about Carol Dweck, Kerp, Anne Briceño, and Angela Lee Duckworth. She's doing too much. Okay, you're only supposed to choose 2 out of 3 texts, but she goes ahead and she tries to cover a lot of key qualities, and I don't think you need this many. Just pick 2 or 3 key qualities. What are the most important ones? What are the top key qualities you think a student should have to be successful, and have that be your thesis? She is making a great plan, but she's spending too much time. Look at how long this is. Like, she has so much she's already written. It's basically like a rough draft. Please don't do this. What you want to do is just write a couple words, a couple phrases, just some ideas, just a plan. She's telling her story of what she relates to from school and how it connects to Duckworth's quotes. It's just too lengthy for now. She only needs a few words. An outline shouldn't take more than maybe half an hour to do if you're doing it right. It shouldn't take hours and hours and hours. But this is what it looks like because she's super tedious. But I feel like you could just basically turn this into a rough draft from what it already is. You do not need to do this for this weekend. What it really should look like is a lot more sparse. And an example of that would be, let me see if I can find my other documents. This is a better example of what an outline should look like if it's really sparse. See this? It's just a couple words, a couple phrases. This is the numeral letters. This is the numeral numbers. This is the letter, which is the major talking point. And then if you lowercase the Roman numerals 1, 2, and 3 like this, then we have a sense of what your specific minor supporting details are to support the major supporting point. And so here maybe you write out the thesis, but by the end, by the bodies, you can see like the first talking point is, what is the camera going to be used for? This was for my English 120 class. We were doing a process analysis paper, and she just has a couple words listed: portraits, landscapes, architectures. Those are the talking points, right? She's not using any quotes in this paper because that's not what the assignment was, but I just want you to get an idea of how visually your outline should just look like a skeletal plan or structure to what you're going to cover in your paper later on. And so this whole outline for an entire essay, and this essay is supposed to be 2 to 3 pages, the outline is a little over a page, and that's all it should be. Especially if it's going to be double spaced like this, you don't need a whole lot. So that's kind of more visually what your outline should look like, and you shouldn't be spending as much time on it as this other student did. It's way too detailed, but I'm grateful for just a solid plan you can provide. Do not turn in a rough draft though, because again, that's a totally different assignment, okay? Thank you so much for your attention, and if you have any follow-up questions on how to do a proper outline or how to fill out the brainstorming chart, please let me know over email or meet with me during office hours early on Monday before class. Thanks, bye.